What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. As you can see from the title, we had to jump on. It's a bit later than usual. Michael Olise has officially joined Bayern Munich. He has said his goodbyes on Instagram. We've said our goodbyes as well, but we are here to react to live after Olise now that it has been confirmed. As always, if you do enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's help grow the channel. We're close to 5,000 subscribers. Joined by Patrick here. As always, we want to hear from you. That's the most important thing. So send in your comments in the live comment section and your thoughts if you're watching replay in the comment section down below about Olise leaving. Also, I just want to say a quick shout out to DLM Designs for the work. We're trying to improve, as I've always said, the channel ahead of next season. As you can see, it's a bit of a different thumbnail this time around. So yeah, shout out to him as well. Make sure to check him out. Patrick, it's happened. It has happened. And I'm not talking about Turkey getting knocked out of the Euros and then going to go into the semi-finals. Yeah, I mean, we can discuss that later. Talking about Michael Olise, end of an era. I know you've been talking with the rest of the crew in the chat. I've been busy, so I couldn't really follow it as much. But just quickly, for those that don't know how you're feeling, your mood. Are you happy that it's over, the drama? Are you upset that he's leaving? How are you feeling right now?
No, I mean, I remember a year ago because I was heading up to Vermont. I remember the exact day when he signed that contract extension, and I was so shocked. I thought he was gone last year. And going to Chelsea would have bothered me a lot more. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not that bothered. He was here for 3 years. Did a great job while he was here. But he wasn't a homegrown player, so I don't have that attachment to him. And he's going to Bayern. If he's going to Chelsea, United, or Arsenal, I would be much more upset about it. But if I can go into a top club in Europe where he'll probably go on to bigger and better, I'm not that bothered. I know that's our model anyway. Even though we haven't actually done it in the last 3 years, but it's going to be our model going forward. But I'm not that bothered. Listen, I loved watching him play. I got to see him play live against West Ham, London Stadium last year. But what's the name ruined him last year at Hodgson with the injuries. So it's a shame we get to see him more. But honestly, sad to see him go, but I'm not a guy like people are. People are on social media are crying about it, and even on some of my group chats. I get it, I understand it, but I'm not. Again, he's going to a bigger and better club. I can't begrudge him that. So,
yeah, I've met him in real life as well. He's a great person. He's a great player. I'm proud that he played for Palace. I think he's going to be a great player to go, to go look into the next 5 to 10 years. I think we're going to all look back and say, wow, he's played at Crystal Palace, Michael Olise. And you know what? Regardless of all the downs and everything, and some of the comments that have been made towards him by the neutrals saying, oh, look at his attitude problems or his injury problems, he never let that affect him. Some people do say, oh, he's an interesting character. He's very, he's quiet and he doesn't like talking, but that's who he is. Even when I met him in person, he wasn't like how he is to the media. Do you get it? Some people are different in real life in different environments, such as football environments, to his personal life. A lot of people don't know how Michael Olise is. So I've only got good things to say about him. There's been even in terms of Palace, we've never really heard him sulk, attitude problems or anything like that. With a player of that quality, you could easily have that. You could have an ego, thinking you're too big for the football club and all the goals and assists. Whenever he stepped on the pitch, I truly believe he gave him 100%, and he delivered us results, goals, assists as well. And not only that is, I never got the sense that even though there were big clubs after him, that he got too big for his boots. He was never that guy. Even the cryptic Olise that a lot of people say, wrote a farewell message on Instagram, recent Palace post as well, red and blue hearts on that in his comment. There's literally nothing bad to say about him. I think this is it. It doesn't hurt, as you said. I think it would have hurt if you joined Chelsea and Man United, which how my thoughts on other channels as well, that I never thought that was going to happen, because I think it's well advised. And all the best to him. I think he signed a contract till 2029 in Bayern Munich. Of course, on here, we're going to get your thoughts. We're going to talk about the fee. We're going to talk about life after Olise. Does that change our expectations going into next season and potential replacements? We're going to be discussing all of that. But it's not a sad note. It's more of a proud note. I'm happy for him, man. He deserves it. Came from Reading to Palace, Palace to Bayern Munich. That's a storyline in itself. Crystal Palace sending players to Bayern Munich. And it's something that we need to get used to, right, Patrick?
100%. Like I said, I mean, I know that it's the model that we've spoken about maybe for the last, I guess, I don't want to say since Vieira got here, because prior to Vieira, no one's going to come to Palace and then go on to bigger and better. Let's be honest. Decided Wilfred went to Man United. So I guess from Vieira, when like Guehi came and Anderson came, Olise came, as they'd come the year before, we kind of felt like if we get like these good young players, we would build them up, hopefully do something with Palace and then move on. So the fact that he's moving on, again, I don't begrudge the kid one bit. I love his personality. I love the fact that he's just so kind of quiet and reserved, but he gets along with the teammates really well. As he became great friends with Mateta, Edward, you know what I mean? So, but no, we got to get used to this, because this is going to be our model, unless, which is what I'm hoping, that Glasner's around for 3-4 years and he takes us to another level, and then we can compete with, like, not the top 6, because that's probably never going to happen, but, from 7 to 10 and get into the lower European competition, maybe win a cup every once in a while. It's not a Palace thing, but my expectations on the Glasner are so much higher than they were under any other manager, including Vieira, that I think, we're going on to bigger and better. And it's shame at least won't be here to share it with us, but I'm very positive with Glasner in charge. Any other manager right now, I would be depressed, probably, and upset, but Glasner's got me thinking very, very positively, honestly.
I think that's a point that even I'm missing, to be fair. Let us know in the chat as well, because I know a lot of emotions are involved, even on Twitter. Like, I haven't been able to go on it because I've been with family over the weekend. So I just, relax and see Turkey get knocked out, of course. But like, even me, I sometimes forget it's Oliver Glasner in charge. But then again, that's the topic that I kind of did want to get into, and let's get into it now. Does that change your expectation going into next season, or having Glasner at the football club is good enough? For me, I just think losing Olise is a massive loss, and I don't know how we replace him. The questions go back on Dougie and some of the names that's been mentioned, and we'll see what happens with there. But, we've been talking about, I know it's hope, but European football, another top 10 finish. For you, Patrick, does Olise leaving lose that hope of potential top 10 European football, or do you think Glasner being at a football club is the biggest thing, to go forward to achieve those targets in the first place?
Quick question. Very hypothetical question. Would you rather lost Glasner to Bayern or Olise to Bayern? Honestly, this off season, which would you rather?
That's a very good point. I think that's a very good reverse question. That's a very good reverse question.
Right.
I would rather Olise to Bayern. Yeah, 100%.
Right. So if you tell me that honestly, and again, he's not going to be easy to replace, but Kamada's in. I have a lot of faith in France this year. I really, really do. And I think that easy, no to replace. Can he be replaced? Anybody can be replaced. Anybody can. Let's be honest, anybody can. So I think he can with, and I have faith in Glasner, in Dougie to do it. I love the way Glasner plays football. His system's never been about one player, never will be. He'll make players better around him. He'll make players around him better. So I have 100% faith in Glasner. So my expectations have not lessened because Olise left. Now, if you tell me Eze and Guehi both leave, then I'll be worried. We lose 3 or 4 players, but one player doesn't change anything. 3 or 4 would be devastating to the club. So, which I don't expect, by the way. But no, one player leaving, and again, as he is, he's a great player. But no, I have total faith in Oliver Glasner. I just love the fact. I mean, just to go back to what he did last year, man, beating teams like United and Liverpool. I mean, are you serious?
Yeah,
West Ham? I mean,
kind of forget about it. That's the thing, and that comes down to, of course, Olise played a massive part in that, but it comes down to the manager. Comes down to the manager, because not only Olise, I think when you look at the bigger picture in terms of getting the best out of the players, and I think this is where it gets a bit interesting, and we'll talk about replacements. It was more on the manager, getting the best out of players rather than the players performing at the levels that we've seen. I've never seen Nathaniel Klein perform as well for Crystal Palace before. I never expected Nathaniel Klein to play centre back, but now he can. Tyrick Mitchell performing at he's going up and up every single game that he's played. He's improving. Everyone, Adam Walton, Eze, everyone has improved, and that's not a coincidence. That goes down to the manager. So I think that is the biggest thing. So even though the replacements that's been mentioned, some may not be as keen, but it's about what Glasner gets out of the players more than the players itself as well, which sometimes we can forget when we focus on names.
Yeah, look what we saw. We saw a back three last year, and at no point did Mark Guehi playing that back three to the last. Even when he came back, the last game he played in midfield, and he's now the best player for England at the Euros as far as defensively, right? So you didn't have Guehi. You saw Will Hughes playing at a different level, and you saw Mateta score all those goals in a short amount of time. But of course, Elise is a big part of that in Eze. But my point is, you saw a lot of players. Had only Elise played great last year, I'd be worried. I'll be honest, I'd be like, wow, he made Elise great, but Eze was terrible. But Teta was useless. You know what I mean? But he made, you just said it, he made Klein better, Mitchell better. I mean, we added Chatty Riyad. He made Richards better. You know what I mean? He made players around. He made so many players better, and that falls on the manager. So for me, of course, Elise is going to be a massive miss. But I have so much faith in the fact that this man being Oliver Glasner will make us a better even than last year team. That I'm not worried about one player leaving. Like I said, 3 or 4 leaving would worry me because then you got to get 3 or 4 replacements, and who knows how they're going to bet in. But no, one player leaving, as good as Elise was, and he was great for us, especially on the Glasner. I can't put it on one player. But again, I'll miss him, but I'm not going to go crazy about him leaving. I just can't.
Yeah. Some people will naturally be a bit upset, of course, and I understand that because, of course, Olise is a massive player, and you know he will be a miss regardless of what people say. It's like Wilf. I mean, for years we were talking about how can we replace Wilf. We'll manage to replace him with Olise. It's going to be hard to find an Olise replacement. That'll be if we're going to replace Olise with a better player, then we've got one of the best European wingers, because I think that's going to be Elise's level, and I think it's going to show that at Bayern. Let's quickly talk about the fee. We spoke about here a few times. It's been, first of all, £60 million release clause. That's what was mentioned. And then different sources said 45 plus 5 million add-on, 50 plus 5. But what I've seen a lot recently is the 45 plus 5. Now, we don't know if this is 100% accurate. But are you a bit surprised about the fee, the release clause that's been involved? Because we all expected it to be a bit higher. If it is true.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never know. Most teams don't release finances. Bayern's not going to tell us how much they pay. We're going to tell teams so they know how much we got for him. I'm surprised. I think last year the Chelsea thing was, what was it, 35 million? I guess it was around 35 last year had he gone. So we end up getting maybe 20 million more. Release clause is a weird deal because again they set a figure that you have to pay and then you activate it. But again, at least the release clause is very, very unique. You know, had the Champions League part, talk to him first, you know, can't talk to the club first, etc. It was a very weird release clause. So I'm glad that Paris put it in there. But could we have gotten more? Yes. I mean, I think I like to have gotten like 75 million for him, honestly. But it's what's done is done. You can't go back. But again, I think he's probably worth more. But the release clause thing makes it very tricky. So whatever it is, whether it's 55, 60, I mean, what are you going to do, right?
I think Bayern Munich got a great deal.
I think
that they can. You know what? They could easily. Now I'm not even joking. If they wanted to, which then it's not going to happen, and I don't know if they technically can. I don't know the contract, but if they really wanted to, they could sell Olise for 80 to someone else this summer.
I bet he has another reason. I bet he has.
They can make a profit. They can make a profit on Olise already.
They will.
Without him kicking the ball. Because that's the only thing that's not upset me, but it's like I wish we could have got more. But then when he put things into context, he was about to leave for £35 million.
Right.
But not about to leave. He had a chance of leaving for £35 million.
Right.
That would have been even a bigger robbery. Like now, instead of robbing our house, I feel like we've been robbed to just, burgled into one room rather than the whole house. It still hurts, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Paid what, 8 million for him from Reading? 8 million? We made 42 million.
Yeah, I understand that. 8 million is great. I mean, even now, 45.
We robbed Reading. Look, we robbed Reading. We got robbed. So,
plus, a sell-on clause as well. I think that's a
very good point.
Yeah, sell-on clause as well. But then again, when we see the play that we've seen, that figure in today's market still feels incredibly low. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that bugs me the most, rather than Olise actually leaving. It's like, I just wish we somehow got more for him. But then again, we were struggling last summer to keep him because of that release clause in the first place. So, I guess we had to do what we had to do, and we still made, more money than we would have made last summer, plus had a season of Olise. But we kind of mentioned that as well, Patrick, about Elise's last season at Palace.
Right.
And I've seen a few people say it already. Another thing that's a bit like, I wish it was a bit better, is how we managed him. And of course, we have to talk about the previous manager and the Brighton game and the injuries. Right. I think that's another thing as well. I think we could have got a bit more out of Olise if it was managed properly. And I think that's where all the perception about Olise being one of those players who, has an injury problem came about. I think that came from mismanagement, which was a bit upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was there. So I remember when I was at the West Ham game, and between the West Ham game and the Liverpool game, there was a whole comment about he was going to not let him, he wasn't going to start in the next game in Liverpool because of his injuries. And then later on in the season, he puts him in a game. I'll mention it. The Brighton game was the one I'll never forgive Hodgson for, because we were losing 3-0 at the time.
Yeah,
Brings him on after halftime, brings him on, and he's off after 5. I mean, I don't know why he did this to me. Why he been up for? But I mean, that was disastrous. Like, why? I wouldn't care who the player was. If you're down 3-0, there's no need to bring on a player, whether he's academy player who gets a minutes or even a veteran. Why bring a player on when you're 3-0 away and there's no chance he's gonna gonna score 2-3 goals? So I know there have been times in the past where we have brought in something, got back in the game, but that game was a disaster. And that one really, of all the things that Hodgson did, that one really bothered me, because we lost him for what, 4, 5, 6 games, and Glasner didn't get him for the first few games that he was there. So, but again, you know what? What's done is done. But that was infuriating. The Brighton thing was really upsetting. Seriously, it was totally mismanaged by Hodgson.
I need to change my wallpaper. I got this as my wallpaper as well. I need to change that. But that was one of the great memories of Michael Olise. That was City. Under Hodgson, 2-2 game, and he scored a penalty. Yep. That was a great memory. What's your favorite Olise memory? For me, when I said favorite straight away, and sometimes my mind just goes blank, but Millwall away came about straight away. I think that's
my first memory of him. That's my first memory of him. That's my first, because obviously that was his signature moment. Because remember, he didn't score that many goals that first season. He didn't. He only scored, I think he scored like 2 or 3 goals, but he had the assist from Mateta's goal, and he had the goal that he scored. That classic, which is done like 6, 7 times after that, cuts it from the right side, chops it left foot, hits it into the corner. My favorite memory, honestly, even though it's not really a thing, is the West Ham away. The winner at West Ham. Even though it was deflected, that goal. I remember watching at home. That goal, I screamed at that. That goal was, because beating West Ham at any time was always great, but the West Ham. I mean, the City game was great this year, but it was only a draw. But I think for me, the West Ham goal and the United free kick.
Yeah, I was about to say that free kick. That free kick and that celebration. It was yeah, that's it. I just got the last minute equalizer against Man United.
Yeah.
It was equalizer, right? It was equalizer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And he just shrugged off. And also the West Ham game, the significance in that game is that's when that interview came out, the famous interview that went all around. Will passed me the ball, I shot, and I scored. That's where like the rest of the football world kind of saw Olise. And yeah, so yeah. But I mean, I literally have no negative memories of him. None. I think the only negative is the injuries that happened, but I think that was out of his hands. And that's more of a negative on us as a whole for mismanaging him. But yeah, what do you think his level is? We're going to talk about his replacements as well, people. So don't worry, we'll get into that. And if you have any questions, put a Q and a dot before it. We'll answer them, and hit the like button if you haven't already done so, and subscribe. Patrick, what is his level? Realistically, honestly, where do you think he goes from Bayern Munich?
This is the thing, right? I think personally that jump is a massive jump from Crystal Palace, a top 10 Premier League side, to Bayern Munich, which is a top 10 European side. It's a massive jump. So I'm a little worried about him, acclimatizing himself to the Bundesliga, which isn't a harder league, but just the whole European Champions League stuff. His level to me is probably above Bayern Munich, not by much, because we're talking about above Bayern, talking about what? Not even PSG, talking about Real Madrid, right? I mean, that would be the highest step, right? Because you're not going to go from Bayern to...
What was the next step for Olise? I think he's Real Madrid. It wouldn't even be Barcelona. Would it be Barcelona? I don't think so.
Barcelona's not that club anymore. Without Messi, they're not that club anymore. It's Real Madrid. Let's be honest. It's Galacticos, etc. That's what it is. And that's in maybe 2-3 years. That's what the top Bayern players.
That is special. I can imagine Olise in a Real Madrid kit.
That's mad, but that's it. Where else can he go? Honestly, you're at Bayern. Bayern will challenge for the Champions League next year. They're a semi-final team this year. Obviously, Champions League. They will challenge for the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal, the cup. So he'll win medals. But for me, after Bayern, you don't go to PSG because Mbappe's left. You're going to go to Bayern. You're going to go to Real Madrid. So that's what we're talking about. So
PSG. I don't think it's PSG. I think it's Real Madrid. I think the next step up, realistically, if he continues in this trajectory, I think, it has to be Real Madrid. And that, I mean, I think he's built for Real Madrid. Like, I could see him in a Real Madrid kit. But then again, Real Madrid is crazy stacked. They always have the best players. So, he's going to have to prove himself at Bayern.
Can you think of one player that's gone from Crystal Palace at some point and play for Real Madrid?
And not even just that. Can you see one player who's gone from Reading to Crystal Palace to Bayern Munich to Real Madrid?
Exactly.
Exactly. You can't figure on much. But yeah, look, Mitch is saying could see him playing most of his career at Bayern.
It happens a lot. I mean,
maybe return to the Premier League, Patrick, as well.
No, thank you.
But do you think that could happen with the likes of City? Or I was talking to my brother-in-law today about he supports Arsenal. And if Saka was to leave, I think there's a level above Arsenal as well. If Saka was to leave, I think he would be like to go Real Madrid. And that's when I could see potentially. I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe he goes Arsenal. City is a shout. Liverpool, we'll see what happens. But I think there is that chance he returns to the Premier League because for him, it's about playing Champions League football. We knew that. I know a lot of people deny that. But if he, wins that Champions League with Bayern Munich, which will be crazy. And I'm actually rooting for him. Like, I'm not against him. Like, I really want him to do well. And he's got Harry Kane there. They'll make a few other signings. There's quality players, Musiala, which he knows from Chelsea days. He should know that. I know Musiala recently put out a quote saying that he hasn't spoken to him much, but he's a great talent and he's looking forward to playing with Olise. Right. So I think if he completes the Bundesliga, if he wins the Champions League, he might want another challenge. That might be his challenge done, but I don't know. Maybe Bayern Munich for a few more years.
So Premier League with Klopp gone from Liverpool, I can't see that being a draw like it is because unless Arne Slot is brilliant, and he could be. Arsenal, Arteta has to win something there besides the FA Cup because I can't see Arsenal being, bigger than Bayern. But then you talk about Man City, but only if Pep's still there. You don't go to Man City without Pep. But if Pep is there, 100%, that would be the one club, Premier League, I can see him come back for because Pep's going to win trophies every single year. And they are the top Premier League club in England. They just are. Deny what you want. They are the best. But if he was to leave again, I wouldn't see them as being as much of a draw. So I would say Man City after Bayern, and then after that, maybe Real Madrid. But I can't. Again, I would say, why not just go to Bayern straight to Real Madrid? You went from Palace to Bayern, so why not just skip a step again?
Yeah.
He's that good.
Oh,
yes, there we go. In 10 years, Fenerbahce.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that.
And then Besiktas. He could do a Michy Batshuayi.
Batshuayi, geez, that guy is, bro, he needs to chill out. Like,
man.
I honestly, at times I forgot that he came from Besiktas to Fenerbahce, but that Fenerbahce guy move is like, what on earth is just going on with that guy? He has no fear for his life. Tim saying no matter where he goes afterwards, it would be massive fee and we would get paid. That is incredible.
There you go.
Yeah,
thank you, Tim. The money, man. Tim knows
exactly. Hopefully, I mean, I wonder how it works because is it 15 to 20% based on the profit that Bayern Munich make, or is it 15 to 20% based on the overall fee? See, that
I want it on the overall fee. That'd be more money, obviously.
I assume that Palace would do that, especially if he's going for a figure as he's going, but we don't know.
And we'll never know.
If he was to go for 100 million, that can change from, I don't know, 20 million or 15 million to
imagine
much lower than that, So it depends. 15% of profit. So, I mean, we still get a bit of money, but yeah, it's still feel like he's gone for a bit. Well, not feel. I do. He has 100% gone for cheaper than his market value, but that's what it is. Bayern just isn't high churn, drawn sort of place. If he hits the ground running, they'll keep him happy. Yeah,
he's right. They don't really turn over.
Last season they didn't have a great season, but they are a massive club. So let's see what happens with that. Let's go. Actually, before we go through the questions, people, if you're just joining us now, like, subscribe. Especially if you're enjoying the content, that's much appreciated. Thanks to every single one of you. I just want to quickly talk about Mateta. There's been an update right before we went live. I don't know if you've seen it, Patrick, but he's been recalled from the French Olympic squad by Crystal Palace to undergo a medical.
Yes. Yeah, he's going PSG, I heard. Just joking.
Yeah, we're gonna do another stream tomorrow to go out Mateta's PSG. No, but apparently it's which when I first saw it, I was like, I was thinking to myself, what for? But then I did have the hope or thought of it might be for preseason. We'll start preseason just to have a click on him.
Right.
According to GFFN, Get French Football News, he's been recalled to undergo medical tests in London. It's preparation for Oliver Glasner's preseason work, so it's nothing major. He's not injured. It's just keeping an eye out on him. And you know what's funny? All these players have been warned before they went off to their holidays and everything else that you have to be fit when you return to Palace. Or
no doubt.
It doesn't matter if you're on an Olympic squad. You're going to come back. We're going to have your checks. You're going to have your checks. So he will be returning to France on Friday to participate in the Olympics, and it will not be a doubt. So yeah.
By the way, let's not miss the fact that they had a pre-Olympic warm-up. He scored 2 goals. Mateta.
Yeah. He's gonna miss a game against the Dominican Republic, so I guess that'll be missed. But
that'd have been about 5 goals in that game too. So that's too bad.
What was that?
He would score about 5 goals in that game.
Yeah, exactly. He would have scored 5 goals in that game, got his value even higher. But yeah, so that's interesting. So it's going back on Friday. So I guess we have Olise for a week, well, near enough a week. And I don't think he'll play in any preseason. Yeah.
Olise,
no, I mean, geez. Yeah,
get over it. That's the one
get over it. I mean, Mateta for a week. Olise's in Germany. We won't be having him for a week. But did you see that assist between Mateta and Olise? The goal and the assist.
Last one as Palace players, technically. For that.
Yeah. He's still a Palace player when that happened. It's like, one more year, Michael. One more. Why didn't it happen? But yeah, so he'll be coming and going. But yeah, there's just a quick update on that. Is there anything else news-wise, major-wise? There's been a lot of rumors, but we'll talk about that from next week.
We played a friendly yesterday.
That's it. That's what I forgot. Yeah, we played a friendly against Sutton. We don't know who scored. We don't know exactly how the game went. It was behind closed doors, but we won. But in the pictures, I did see, I think it was a Hamada, Edward, Klein. So it was a pretty, strong lineup. I didn't see Sessegnon. Still hiding him.
But I heard he was there. I heard he played.
Yeah. Well, I think Palace on purpose. Even when you look at the photos, the photos are not like a wide shot. It's very like player focused, just zoomed in on each player. So it's not like I could just see on the other side of the pitch if Sessegnon.
You know who played yesterday? Rob Holding played. Rob Holding actually played. I saw him.
Well, miracles on the Glasner. We've seen it so far, and it's continuing. Rob Holding played.
He was there. He was playing.
Was there a photo? Was there a photo? Or?
Yeah, there's one of him. Yeah, he's in the background of one of the. I think it was maybe with Ty in the picture or Ward, but he's definitely playing. He definitely played yesterday.
Chaddy must have played as well. So we had a.
He definitely played. He was in. I saw a picture of him too. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay, cool. Now that we've gone over the generic Palace updates, win. Basically, a win against Sutton United yesterday behind closed doors. No one knew that we're playing, but it happened and we posted it. So Mateta has come back to Palace to undergo medicals, not to join PSG or join Olise at Bayern Munich, but just normal preseason prep, and he's going to be joining back the Olympic squad on Friday. So now that's out of the way, let's go through some of the
one more thing. I got news. I got my tickets yesterday for the Wolves game in America. I'm going to go to that game in America.
How is it? Oh, in America. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's good. There'll be a lot of Palace fans there as well. Maybe we could do content if you want.
Maybe.
Yeah, if you want to. We've done something last. Was it last preseason?
I've vlogged the Millionaires.
Yeah. We've done something. Maybe we'll see. We're gonna be, of course, we're gonna be doing more content next season. But yeah, we'll see. All right, cool. Let's go through some of the questions. If you have any questions, put a Q and a dot, just like Tim has and others have, and we'll answer them throughout the show. Tim saying, how do you think about the balance? We historically sold rarely. How much selling is too much? None of us want to become Southampton, right? It's a very good point. But then again, Patrick, you don't really have that much power in your hands when you have Eze and Olise on release clauses. I think that's where it's like the balance is not really in our hands, right?
Yeah. The key is to be so successful they don't want to leave. So I get why Olise wants to leave. He only played, whatever, 12 games under Glasner. Obviously, he looked very happy, did really well. But maybe you keep Eze for a year and you finish 8th, and you go Conference League. He'll say, "Oh yeah, I want to stay because why would I want to leave?" So I think the balance is, for me, not more than one player a season, and even that would be a lot. But you can't be setting 2-3 players a season because the turnover is too much, and the manager won't want to stay, in my opinion. So it's a great question, but I think maybe again, I hope we sold our one player for the season, because obviously Wharton, Eze, Guehi, Decoy when he's fit, or Mateta, all going to be wanted by other clubs at some point. So you got to be careful. But to me, hopefully, not more than one player, and even that to me would be too much a season.
Yeah, I guess we have to see what happens with Guehi. That's the one to look out for, because his contract situation makes it a bit more tricky about whether we should sell him or not sell him this window. Because I mean, if we don't, and he goes to next summer and he doesn't sign an extension, then his value is not going to be as high because he's only going to have a year left and the power's on him. So yeah, I do think one a season is solid. Is a solid foundation. You don't want to mess up the team too much.
Right.
And we want to try to build on it. Oh, and also to the other players, if you sell all 3 or 4, and then you become, too much of a center. You play with the idea that they're leaving Crystal Palace next season. You want to build something, and I think Glasner would want to build something as well. It's not just any kind of manager; it's a manager that's won. And his assistant actually spoke. I think I know, I can't remember exactly where the quotes were from, but he spoke talking about Olise leaving and potentially Eze, because there's a lot of players about that have rumors linked to them and they could potentially move on. But he did say that the target for next season is single digits in the league table, so another top 10, well, higher than top 10 finish. But that depends on how we replace these players, and I think that's a big thing, Patrick. And let's go to this question to answer it. Each of yours preferred Olise replacement and who you think will actually get. Do you have a preferred Olise replacement? Noose has been mentioned. Actually, Ismail Sarr once again mentioned. Gabriel Sarr, he's gone a bit quiet. Sule. I mean, who's your preferred replacement?
He's not a replacement for Olise. I would love to get Joe Bellingham because his versatility. He can play any of the top. He can play any of the attacking 3 positions. So I think I'd love to get him. He'd be a perfect replacement for Edward. Honestly, I haven't really. Noose worries me because of the injury record. Sule will cost too much. I'd probably go with Jaden Philogene. The kid, the whole season.
Oh yeah, Philogene. Yeah, how can I forget him?
Yeah. I'd probably go with him. If the money's right, very similar to Olise, championship player, came to a great academy, obviously. Played really well last year in the championship. A lot to prove in the Premier League. Plays England under 21s. That kind of play. I like that profile. I would go with him. I don't know enough about Sule. News always because of the injury record, and again the whole thing with Brentford not signing him because he failed the medical. But I would say honestly, if we could sign Philogene and then sign Joe Bellingham, I'd be ecstatic. That'd be two for one, basically. That'd be great.
And I saw it somewhere. Someone was saying about the Olise fee and also the Philogene. What's happened with him? I spoke about in Palace News a few days ago. He has to pick between Ipswich, Everton, and Palace. He hasn't made his decision yet. Even though the other day it seemed like he did pick Ipswich, it seemed like that isn't the case here. If we don't get him, there's Nusa that we've been linked with. I think realistically, if not Philogene, Nusa. But what I was going to say is that Palace, someone said, I'm not saying that this is true, and there might even be in the chat here. I don't know exactly who it was, but I saw the text that we might be using Philogene as a way of getting the Bellingham fee a bit lower. Maybe Bellingham's our actual target. Yeah. I mean, we're not going to put all our information out there. We haven't. Even with the Olise thing, it came out from Chelsea. That's why we always heard Chelsea Man United, because it was Chelsea United sources rather than Palace sources that were spreading all the rumors about Olise, about Chelsea opening talks and this and that, adding that drama. It's just Chelsea and their PR. So Palace won't be pushing information out there, especially as much with the players that that we're really after. I mean, Bellingham, would that be the one?
It would work for me, but I was going back to what you're saying. I think what I really like is that I know people love to, I'm not a rumor person. That's why I don't do these Palace news shows. But what I like about the way Palace does things is that we're going for a player, at least, on the dug-in, especially on the Glasner. Like, we went in for Kamara, we got him. Went in for Chado Riyad, we got him. There wasn't like a lot of, it didn't take a lot of time for, rumors. That's why I don't, the Nusa and the Sule and the Gabriel Sar, they've been out there for such a long time. I just don't think they're going to happen. I think that the way that Dougie and Parrish are working, it's more behind the scenes stuff. So I think the names we're hearing, I'm not saying we won't some of those players, because we obviously could. I just think we don't really work through the media. And other clubs do. Chelsea's a perfect example. Chelsea has all their stuff because they have Romano. Yeah, exactly. We don't do it that way. So, I mean, I just think that whoever we get, one, I trust, because it'll be a Glasner, who Glasner wants, and who Dougie has been looking at for a long time. And two, I'm just not going to go for the names in the media, because I don't think we work that way. But not to say we wouldn't get someone that's out there, because we could. But I like when we do stuff. It's not always like a guy out there that we talk about for months and months and months, and then people get upset. Oh, why didn't we sign, Ronnie Edwards from Portsmouth? Oh, Peterborough, sorry. I mean, who went to, I guess he's going somewhere else. But my point is that it doesn't really work that way. So, I mean, we just get stuff in. But, I mean, we'll see. See what happens.
Yeah, that's a good shout as well. I mean, it might be a player that we haven't been linked with just yet. And I've even asked that question as well. What if Philogene goes to Ipswich and we're left with Nusa? I think part of me is more leaning towards Nusa, I think, because of the fee.
Right.
I mean, around £20 million. That's what we really go for in terms of the young players. We haven't so far spent more than 20 to 25. So I think Nusa, if we are hopeful that we can get him for that fee, then I think there's a chance there. But Sule, a lot of people wanted him, but the fee, I think, just may put off the club. At the end of the day, want him for profit. The more you pay, the higher risk it is. I know some people disagree, but that's the model that we want to work with. But yeah, I think, look, Kamada is a great signing as well. Let's not forget about that.
Underrated. People don't understand how good that player is. Exactly.
How good he's going to be for us as well. So, yeah, in terms of names, it's a bit hard to say, but the names are out there. Now that this is actually complete, let's actually see next week what happens. Because now we have to go for it. We have to get a replacement in, ideally in preseason. I don't want it to drag on till late August or so and game and deadline day. I want Glasner to work with the player. I want the player to understand what Glasner wants. I want Glasner to understand how the player works. And, I want us to have a good season. So the earlier we get, the better it is. Nick saying, what's going on with the new kit shorts? Are you not a fan, Patrick? I mean, I'm not as bothered. I personally, I'm not going to wear the kit. I don't walk around with a full kit.
I will buy the top, because I always do. I'm not buying shorts and socks. I'm not bothered about that. I could care less about the shorts. I don't really. That's a Nick Gussett thing. Don't bother me.
I just not Nick Gussett. If I ever went to a game with Nick and he wore the Palace shorts and the Palace top, he's getting a bus to that game. He's not coming to the game with me. I'm not. That's a behavior that I'm not accepting. I'm sorry. It's not a Nick Gussett thing. I can confirm that is slander on Nick Gussett's name. He's never done that, and he never will. I hope. But yeah, he will never. Yeah, I will never let that happen. He will have to change. Adam was saying, Patrick, how would you describe Michael Olise in one word?
One word. Mercurial.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I don't know why I thought incredible.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got some clutch goals for us, man. Some clutch goals, last minute goals. He's a big game player. Like, he's always living in big games. He's always stepped up. Is Guehi off? Says Red. What's your thoughts?
I don't think so. I know he's having a great Euros, and like you just said about the contract, but basically he could go. I've been limited. I mean, he's not going to go United, and that was a big rumor. Arsenal just signed a kid from Italy. He's not going to Arsenal. I mean, Tottenham possibly, but can't see much. I don't know where he'd go, so I'm not worried about him. No, I think he'll stay, and like you just said, it'll be all about trying to get him signed a contract during the season. He's my captain. He's my team captain or club captain. So why would I want him? No, I wouldn't. I don't think he's off.
Yeah, I just hope. I don't know how we're going to do it, because I think this Elise Eze thing has kind of set the tone now with these players. But if we can just somehow make him agree to a contract without a release clause or release clause of around £80 million, I'd be happy with that. But then again, remember, with release clauses, that sounds great for us, but for Guehi, it just lowers his chance of leaving. The higher the fee, the less clubs may be interested. So I just hope that release clause is just sorted. I just don't want him to leave for 60 as well. Well, room is 60 anyways. I just think these fees are a bit too low for these players. And
how much did Max Kilman just go for West Ham?
40. So that's what I'm saying. Guehi has to go for 80.
75.
80, for me, it's 80 at least.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So.
Even Olise, it should have been minimum 80. That's why he's gone for cheaper than he should. Alex saying, is there a player that is seemingly out of our league that we could try to get now? We have the Glasner.
Yeah, Lionel Messi.
It might be in Alex's league. I don't know. I think Alex is over in the US, so it might be actually in Alex's league. But Messi, now that we got rid of Olise. No, I'm joking.
That's a great question, you know. That's a great. I don't even. I'm gonna think of like.
I mean, Kamada realistic before Glasner comes in? I think that's a Glasner signing. So have we not already seen like a Glasner pull?
And we got Chadi Riyad from Barcelona. I mean,
I think Chadi Riyad could have happened without Glasner.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's a chance. I think Kamada's a bit more of like he's literally played with him, played for Glasner before.
Played for Glasner, obviously, yeah.
And you mentioned that as well. But even Kamada, where's Kamada? Someone said like, are we gonna actually see the guy or what? I think he comes in next week.
Remember him. Jordan Ayew's not back yet. He was also playing for Ghana. Those guys are playing international, so they'll be back. So obviously they'll be back first, and obviously Anthony back because they're out of the Euros, which is out of the Copa America. He'll be back. So they'll trickle in, but those guys need a break, man. Listen, bro, season just ended basically for those guys. And they gotta have them come back the next week. So they gotta give them a couple of weeks off at least. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's a great question. I have no idea. I have no idea who could have.
I think we've already seen that already, though. We'll come on. Unfortunate saying, do you think Philogene will choose Palace over Ipswich and Everton? Kind of spoke about this on the episode when that news broke out on Palace News. I did think that Palace should have the pull over Ipswich and Everton based on the fact that we are proven to develop championship players into Prem players, and now with Olise, you know, potentially move them on to massive clubs. So I think Palace stand over Ipswich and Everton. But
it depends.
Apparently, I've been going after him for a while, and also maybe Ipswich can offer him or guarantee him more game time. Saying that, I thought with Olise leaving, he would be, you know, he'll be in the fold. But then again, maybe not because we have got Kamada there. So I think Ipswich may factor that in for Ipswich.
Here's the thing: players choose clubs for different reasons. I mean, I don't know what Jamie Philogene wants. Does he want guaranteed playing time? Does he want to work under a new manager? Does he want to play in a certain system? Does he want more money? Does he want to play in Europe? You know, there's so many factors going to these players, what they want. We don't know. So I don't know. Could he choose Palace over? He could choose them over us for sure. It's happened in the past. But I mean, you just made a great point. If he's into coming to Palace, getting playing time, playing in a 3-4-3, playing under a manager that's got a European trophy, manager make him a better player, and then move on to a bigger club at some point. He come to Palace, but I don't know what Jamie Philogene wants. I mean, I saw that managed with the agent. I mean, it ended up being true, by the way. He was invited by Barcelona actually to go there, but I mean, who knows? Who knows the players? You know, it's weird. You never know.
Exactly. There's factors that we don't even know about. He might factor in London. He might want to live in London. He might not.
There you go. Exactly. That might be it. Or might not want to be in London. Exactly. Yeah. So.
Not always about game time. It's weird. And wages, game time, location, this, that. Like, we don't know. We don't know.
A lot of stuff.
But it should be Palace based on the theory that I've said. I would think Palace makes a lot of sense for him. Spiritual saying, how much do you think Ozo is worth right now?
No idea, but I hope we don't sell him. I don't mind loaning him out.
I think you don't know as well. How much is Ozo worth, chat? Let us know, but I don't know.
15 million, 10 million, or 10 million.
Is he? I mean, he's had a few first team appearances, but I think if he has more, then the value goes up even further. Yeah. I don't think we're looking to spend anyways. Yeah, great question. One that we don't know the answer to, sorry. Cody saying, do you think the rumors of us trying to get LaCroix from Wolfsburg 20 million means we're looking to sell Guehi? No, I think he could have been a Guehi replacement. I think it's just a player that's on a short list if Guehi was to leave, which we don't know yet if he's going to leave or stay.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but I don't think we're, you know, if we wanted to go get him, I think we would have got him so far, if that was the case. I think it's more about waiting to see if we sell Guehi or not. It's just you have to have plans in place in advance. You can't just sell Guehi and be like, oh, who do we want centre like now? Like, no, you need to sort out right, you know, before he even goes. So yeah. RP saying, who do you think will likely bring in to replace Olise on the right hand side? We literally discussed this. Right. There's names out there like Philogene, Nusa, and Sule, but it might even be a player that we don't even know about, or maybe Joe Bellingham comes out of the blue as a potential replacement because he's been mentioned, but it's gone a bit quiet. Alan saying, what about Wilf returning? I've said that ship has sailed. wouldn't want that to happen. And I don't think he wants to. What was it recently? A lot of people were upset over him. What did he say? Oh, he made a comment on the interview, right? Oh yeah, he made a comment. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. He made a comment in an interview saying, "I don't want to be known for Wilfried Zaha," like something along the lines. I'm paraphrasing, something along the lines of, "Oh, Wilfried Zaha of Crystal Palace." Like he kind of said something like that. But
I need context. I need context on that because that's
my thought is, regardless of what he thinks, you will be known for that.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's where you play majority of your career, and that's what you're known for. Right. You're not going to be known for Wilfried Zaha, Galatasaray. Like, oh, that's the thing. Well, I think, yeah, I'll try to find an interview clip, but I did see something along the lines which upset people. Spiritual saying Philippines still not decided what's going to take him so long, which they should discuss as well. We don't know. Right. It could be multiple factors. It's a big decision in the end of the day. And I'm saying, if the opportunity came, would you take Madueke?
I mean,
it's exciting.
The problem is he's on a 7-year contract, and he'll cost probably cost what Olise just cost. I wouldn't get him for that. I would have got him before he went to Chelsea, but not now. He's a good player.
But I think his wages must be low though. That's the thing. His wages probably will be low. It's probably spread over 7 years. So, but I don't want to play on a 7-year contract as well. Especially what we're trying to do. We're trying to sell players for profit.
Because he won't come here and take less years, right? And his contract already come here and take less years in the contract. If you can do that, you have to pay more money, right? So. I mean,
unless we just kind of pay more, we pay more money, but we're going to pay that money anyway. So we pay that money over a short period of time, maybe like that, but
good player though. I like Madueke. He's a good player. I don't know what he's going to do at Chelsea, but he's a good player. I mean,
Tim saying, how much of a chance will Glasner give Jez and Malcolm?
I wish he gave him a big chance, but it won't happen. I people don't forgot that they're both here because they got him, Franz, Malcolm. They're still here, but who knows? I mean. I'm willing to give these guys one more year, but if I don't start seeing some guys from the academy in our first team in a year or so, I'm gonna start getting a little bit worried about our academy because we've already lost. We lost one kid, went to Man United. This kid was in the under-15s last year, just signed for Man United. Kid's not gonna stay in that academy, bro, and not get chances for the first team. At some point, you gotta even if you put him in there, for 10 games this season, if you don't show a pathway from the academy to the first team, best player's not gonna stay. Jesse Derry's not gonna stay here, and then. And not play for the first team. He'll just go to Wolves where his dad is, or you know what I mean. So we got to give a pathway at some point to these players. So we'll see.
I think what it comes down to is when we talk about, for example, Philippine, I think that's a perfect example. Oh, why would you pick Palace over Ipswich or Everton? Well, we've shown that pathway for these players that's come from the championship.
That we buy.
I think we kind of proven ourselves there, and we got that plus here. But for the academy. Why would you rather say at Palace, in Palace Academy, rather than to move on to other clubs?
You're right.
I don't think we've answered that yet. Why would they? I mean, the facilities they've improved, but we haven't kind of shown that pathway, and I think that's a big thing as well. We haven't, brought in the academy players.
So, there's two things. You're absolutely right. We've got the facilities, but one, either you show a pathway to the first team or pathway to first team football somewhere else, meaning we'll sell you on to a bigger, another club. But you got to show me something. You're right. Why would you stay there to just flounder in and then become a John Kamani Gordon who ends up leaving for no money and then going on to play for a League 2 side? Do you know what I mean? Either you stay here and we'll sell you for 4 or 5 million to go to Man City or to Tottenham, or we'll put you in our first team and you will play for our first team. But you're right. They have no pathway. But again, I'm willing to give us time because again, Glasner just got here. You're right. We have a pathway we've been talking about for 3 years. Finally, we'll get you from Reading. We'll build you up for 3 years. We'll say you want to Bayern Munich. Bang. Can't get better than that, right? So, but you're right. There has to be a pathway for, and I'm talking about the guys who are in the 21s. Now. I'm talking about the guys, the younger kids, like the 15 and 16-year-olds, because they've got to see there's somewhere for me to go. Why am I staying here? Because really, there's no point.
But then can you also make the argument that, which academy player, apart from maybe O'Brien, has left Palace and kind of like proved himself? Maybe could there be the chance that some of these academy players are maybe not just good enough for Premier League football with what we're trying to do?
It's early. So I'm talking about now. The kids right now are like 17, 18-year-olds now in our academy. I'm not talking about, O'Brien wasn't an academy player, man. We've gone from Ireland. So I'm not going to count any of the guys you buy from Ireland and then try to move on. That's a different, that's a little bit like the Olise thing. We'll buy you from Ireland. We'll have you paid.
He's join an academy. Olise didn't join an academy. I get what you're trying to say. He didn't originate from academy, but we did play big part to his career. I mean,
No,
if it
no,
wasn't Bayern, would he
I'm
get
saying
that
it.
move
But you
to
said
Lyon?
O'Brien. You said O'Brien. I'm saying O'Brien's a different model because O'Brien is that whole. When we got players from Scotland, we got people from Ireland that come over and 16, 17, or even a little bit older, 18, 19. We played our 21s and then whatever. I'm talking about the academy. I don't know what the plan is for guys because then we lost O'Brien to Lyon. We're gonna lose Killian Phillips probably. I mean, by the way, he's been training with our first team. Killian Phillips is an interesting one. What do you do with him? Scott Banks, we had him, right? What is Banks? Banks went to Germany, right? Again,
they're in the Bundesliga, right? They got promoted.
Yeah, they're in the Bundesliga now, exactly. Promoted. So, which is not bad. That's not Banks' thing's not bad. I mean, he never got played in the first team, but at least he got to play high level 21, went on a couple of loans, and then bang, he got that move. That was okay. O'Brien move, I got no problem with that. But my point is, there are other players in there a little bit younger. Dylan Reed, for instance. So players in there that I kind of like that we're not really saying or we're not really showing the next step. Justin Devaney is a great example. Justin Devaney, who went on the Marbella trip, is an excellent. That kid is really, really good. He's a defensive midfielder in our 21s. I think he's only like 18 years old. That kid has a future. So I want to see what we do with him. We got him from Scotland. Where do we do with him in a year or so? Do we loan him out and then sell him on? Or do we loan him out and then have him come back and then next season he replaces, let's say, Adam Wharton, or he replaces Czech Decore. You know what I mean? Our first team. So I'm not worried about this year. I'm talking about next year. What do we do with those players that are kind of we're buying and they're kind of in their teens and they've got a future, but we haven't really seen them, have a first team pathway, that kind of thing.
I think the next player to look at really academy is Jez, Ozo,
100%. Ozo.
around that.
Teo maybe.
Yeah, Teo. Yeah, exactly. So there are few that we'll see next season on the Glasner. Glasner's not been here that long. Let's not forget that. Like,
no, which is exactly right. He's only been in January, so
yeah, it's a bit hard to say right now exactly what he'll do, but yeah. So we do have to, as a football club, anyways, trying to prove ourselves. Whether that is having these academy players move on, like Scott Banks, I think that's a positive. Also O'Brien, or we have to kind of show something about our academy, which we will do, by the way. I think our academy is going to be one of the best academies in the whole country, 100%. We've got a catchment area.
Got the potential to 100%.
Exactly, we've got the potential. And it will take a bit of time. Look, you can't just develop somebody 16 years old and put them in the lab and make them 18 the next day and develop and put their experience and skill. Like, it's going to take time. Like, they're still young, some of these talents. We've still got young academy players that's coming through. So we'll see. I think it takes roughly about 5 years, minimum 5 years for us to see the academy that's the cycle working properly. Because
that's fair.
The facilities and everything's still fairly new. But we'll see if Glasner gives any of them opportunities. But look, people, that's it from me and Patrick. If you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace content. We'll be here covering all the latest Palace news as normal throughout the following week. Keep safe, people. That's it from us too. And also let us know if you're just joining now, your thoughts on Olise joining Bayern Munich in the conversation down below. But that's it from us. And until next time, up the Palace.